My fifth completed game for 2026 is Reanimal. Reanimal I played on the PlayStation 5. It's a survival action horror adventure, I guess we can classify it as that. It is purely a co-op game developed by Tarsier Studios. This is a very interesting game. I love this genre of pure co-op games that are aimed and designed around cooperative gameplay. So the likes of It Takes Two from Hazelight Studios, more recently Split Fiction. This type of essential co-op play for two players specifically is really interesting gaming genre, and I think they just keep getting better and better. What worked for Reanimal, there is something very unique about this game. For one, there is next to no narration or dialogue or voice. There is a tiny amount throughout in a couple of cutscenes, but right from the start, you were just dropped straight into this gameplay with zero explanation about the story, about what is going on. It is incredibly dark and ominous right from the outset. You play as either a male or a female or a boy and the girl, I suppose you could describe it. They appear to be children, although again, nothing really is explained in this process. And as the adventure unfolds, you are exposed to kind of even more darker and grotesque themes. It is really unique. There is really nothing that kind of I can find that compares with the type of dark survival storytelling. Now, the mechanics are simple. There isn't a lot of combat to speak of, although there is a little bit there. It is really a cooperative horror story. There are a lot of short, kind of intense chase sequences. There are a lot of puzzle solving and different paths to explore, and obviously because it is a co-op focused game, you need to work with your partner. I play with my sister, and she is always an absolute crack up to play these games with, and is screaming and carrying on. But it is intense. It is something that I dare say has a few scary moments. It has a few jump scares, but it's more that slow burn, that grotesqueness that comes out throughout the themes, the animal theme, if you like. And again, I don't want to spoil it too much, but for those people that are into like body horror or really quite disturbingly graphic kind of supernatural themes, this is an excellent game to play. Something else that really works well with Reanimal is this amazing use of camera angles. It really kind of sets the scene. It's not trying to capture an ultra realistic theme. It's almost puppetry or marionette style animation. Quite basic textures, always dark tones, but these camera angles and the intense kind of chase sequences that the game puts you through, it just works really well, and it just constantly changes. Different environments, different experiences, really moving forward at a rapid pace. Again, it really doesn't do anything to explain what's going on. There's kind of a small wrap up at the end of trying to glue the things together, but the journey is really the experience here. Just exploring the dark themes with a friend, with a co-op buddy is just great. It's not a long game. I spent probably less than 6 hours with this game, so really only a couple of sessions you can knock it over. It's quite a short experience, but you know what? I actually like that. I mean, I think in the age now where sometimes games are really lengthy, it's nice just to be able to pick up a title and jump in. It also has a friends pass, so only one person needs to own this game to be able to play it. I mean, that's a bonus in this day and age. If you only need to invest, I think it was $50 AUD, and you can play it with your friend for free, that is pretty awesome. So what didn't work with Reanimal? Look, there wasn't a lot. I think you get what you get with this game. It is a dark survival horror co-op experience. I did play it not long after release though. I think it released and we jumped in probably within a week of release, and we did experience a few server disconnections. So like, it wasn't perfect. I think performance-wise the game runs well. Obviously it relies on that server connection at all times for both players to stay connected, and we did experience at least 2 or 3 dropouts. I do think I might have wanted it to be just a tad longer, maybe even another extra 2 or 3 hours. But it's hard to say now that I've finished it. I think it really was that perfect length. And given that it is really this lean and vague kind of story experience, you don't want that to drag out too long. I think that the shock, the grotesqueness and the dark, unexplanatory type adventure is best served up when it's a short spanned game. So I don't think really having anything too much longer would have been amazing. So really not a lot to complain about here. Few server disconnections, but ultimately it was a great title. Was it worth it? I loved this game. It was everything I expected and more. I've only played a couple of the Little Nightmares games, but this is way darker, way more intense. Those horror themes, some things are really quite surprising and shocking and just outright creepy. And to experience this with a friend or a family member, just for those few sessions together, it's a lot of fun. So if you loved any type of pure co-op 2-player game, like It Takes Two, or like it's your split fiction games, this is just a bite-sized version of that with a horror kind of spin. So that's it. That's Reanimal, my 5th completed game for 2026.